Hello.
Welcome.
Hey.
And welcome.
Yeah, I guess we
Ooh.
could do that too. Sure. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
It's another
Welcome.
episode of Unscripted Gaming presents Postscripted, Love is Unscripted, a Love is Blind rewatch podcast. I am your host, Josh, joined as ever by my illustrious hosts, Ray and Mike.
I don't like how you worded that.
Hello.
You made it seem like this was impermanence, which I promise you it is not.
You had the title locked and loaded there. That was nice.
I did.
That was good.
I was ready. And you know what? The nice thing is it's a solid title. Like it could be used again. Like mayhaps, for instance, when Love is Blind season 7 launches here in but a few weeks' time.
I mean, I've joked about this in our discussion chats, but like, I think the locality is important in these Love is Blind seasons. Like, the UK one is kind of intriguing because, like, accents there have a much more, like, class-specific kind of connotation than they do here. And I think that's kind of interesting. I don't know. The show doesn't really engage with that, but, like, I think functionally that would be interesting because it's like, oh, this person is... I hear that they have an accent that is like clearly more posh than this other person's accent, which I think that's an interesting dynamic that we don't really have here. But what we have is Love is Blind set in Washington D.C., which is going to be great because somebody's going to a couple's going to connect in the pods, and then they're going to find out that the guy works for Nestle and is lobbying to make it legal to pulverize dolphins into like tuna cans or something. Just a really good stuff is going to come out of that season. I just can't wait.
It's
I'm
going to be
excited.
so good. So good. And it starts soon. That's all I'm saying. But right here, right now, we are back. We took a little bit of a hiatus here before we talked about the penultimate episodes and then eventually here the reunion episode because Ray here, his lovely wife, had a baby, so took a few weeks off to welcome the little one in, and now we are back to talk.
Now, here's a real Love is Blind question. Did you fall in love with your child when you first saw them?
I was crying like a
parenting
little
love
baby
blind?
myself. Yeah, just the magic of childbirth was great.
It is pretty cool because you're like, whoa.
Human.
It's the only way I can really describe it, you know.
You kind of look like me, and I am responsible for you not dying. Hooray!
I did the very fun part of because I was like, oh my gosh, he looks like so much me of my baby pictures. So me and Anna spent like half an hour, like we dug up my baby picture that my mom sent me a long time ago, and we were comparing the features that I had when I was first born compared to the little guy, and it was really fun, really good time.
My kids have my chin, which is unfortunate, but we don't have time to get into that.
Two of my kids look identical or carbon copies of me, and one looks like neither me nor my wife. So genetics are interesting.
They sure are. As we learned about at this lake house party,
buddy!
Oh my God, this is so good.
This is episode 11 that we're on.
Yes, we're on episode 11.
Okay, just to be sure. Okay.
This is Humanity Manifest right here. Just
right. This is the lake house is kind of like the cat is just like when all of the plot lines all come together into the most diabolical jet ski ride you've ever seen in your entire life, and it's just
hold on,
so
don't
good.
get ahead. We'll get to that.
I just am previewing it. Oh my
all right,
God. Calm down.
All
right. First off the bat, I have a note here. Clay's working.
He's a little busy.
Clay can't be at the lake house party initially because he's working. It's like, again, like you're getting the AD and Clay like, just like
that push pull there.
Mm-hmm. There's always something. Right?
I feel like for the sake of transparency, I should say to the audience, since I am watching this show quite blind, I actually sat down, when I was holding Babu, and watched episodes 11, 12, and then the reunion episode. So I'm super caught up on how this whole thing like ends, or in some cases crashes and
Right.
burns.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's just to catch everyone up to speed. Like, I wonder what Ray thinks about this. I have thoughts, but I'll be coy when I need to. In this case, I will say Clay constantly working. I have noted in a couple different of our podcast episodes, it's like, you know, pick a lane.
Mhm.
If you are trying to commit, in this case, to someone, even just for like a brand new budding relationship, forget marriage for a second, just throw that off the line. Just being available for someone that you
Right.
are dating, you do have to make some time for them, or you have to go into this relationship constantly. Because I don't think AD was ever fully aware that, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna miss like everything because my hustle, well, because half the time it's a side hustle, not this actual 9 to 5. My
Right.
side hustles are higher than you in my Maslow hierarchy
Right.
pyramid of needs.
My side hustle of charging $800 on cleaning fees for Airbnbs or something.
I don't even
Like,
think you're kidding. I don't think that's a joke.
right? It's like I have a feeling. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I don't know. Maybe I'm just poisoned from Kenneth still, but I'm like, he's just on phone. Like, I don't know, just go to the thing, Clay. It'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I was annoyed at Clay for not being here.
You are canceling your PlayStation 5 subscription.
But are you
It's
going to get the
infuriating.
PlayStation 5 Classic? That's all I need to know.
I'm in the PlayStation Direct queue right now to get the PlayStation 5 Classic. PlayStation Pro. This We have some PlayStation Pro moments coming up that we get
Yes,
to.
I do.
Oh
I
my
do
god.
love how this episode
Oh,
opens, and we see Sarah Ann, and just like the tension immediately is so
so
thick, and it just perfectly sets the tone for this
Laura
entire
absolutely
episode.
cooks like full on hibachi, just absolutely like because everybody knows what's happened here.
100.
And just again, I'm
I
a
want to
Laura
ask.
stan. Laura stands. Sound off in the comments. Laura hive rise up, and she just unloads. And it's
I
great.
want to. I want to comment here that one of the, I copied down some phrases that she said to Jeremy, because this whole little fight that they keep like camera panning to, I'm like, I don't care. Like, you guys clearly didn't have the sauce, as it were, but you also like have known each other for all of like 1 month. So like, cool, break it off. Move on. But one of the things that she says to him is like, you didn't enter into this uh engagement with the maturity needed to get married. And my note is, yeah, none of you did. What you're doing right now, this entire thing isn't a mature thing to do. What a weird. Did Jeremy
I
for
mean,
one
I think like
for
I think
well
Amy
if
and Johnny proved that is absolutely not. There are some
I
people
think
here who
like
are locked in.
well, I will say this, and because I knew you were going to bring them up. If you fire enough buckshot at a target 100 meters away, eventually they'll hit the target. That doesn't mean it's a good idea.
right, like I think you have to understand. I think there's like
That's why we do.
this is
That's
the
why we do experiments, Ray.
Oh my god.
I think there's like the hey, I'm going on this like dating show
Mhm.
about being married because like I think the age range for a lot of these people, they're not picking like people who are like 21, right? It's people who are like 25 and
Mid
up,
20s, mid
like
30s, like
Mhm.
people who have a fully developed frontal prelobe, cortex or whatever that thing's called.
Mhm.
The thing that Bluetooth connects when, and then you're smart and not stupid. Um, so I think like the people who audition for these shows have that kind of end goal in mind. But on the other hand, it's a reality television show
Yeah, they're
where
all kind
they're
of like.
producing interesting results. So I think like I kind of take Laura's side here, where like you know I think Jeremy Jeremy not recognizing that like there's a pretty big problem with what happened the other night and why she, because Jeremy's like, I don't understand why. I don't get why she's mad at me. It's just like, are you stupid or are you dumb? Like, what's going on here, buddy?
Most of the people on this show, not all, most of the people on the show are disaster humans. None of this, well, like some of it is acted, right? But for the people that are actually like being level, it's like, oh yeah, you've got a lot of issues. No wonder you decided to like, yeah, put a camera in front of me for like the next several months. I promise I will
mean,
not act
you
a
know,
fool.
like Jimmy, he ain't that disastrous. He's kind
Oh
of
yes, he is.
he's kind of dumb. He just doesn't have the rizz that everybody says he does. Like that's my biggest
not Jimmy. I was talking about Jeremy.
Yeah,
I wanna be clear.
Jeremy is a disaster of a human. And
Jimmy
like
is. I'm a Jimmy stan now.
Like
now I am a Jimmy stan.
I am.
You made
well,
me one.
Well, God, I hate it. And like, hey, for all of Clay's problems, at least he kind of like acknowledges and tries that like I'm shitty and I'm trying to overcome my shitty tendencies. Jeremy doesn't acknowledge that he has shitty tendencies at all and fucking power slides into them with the full force of a Yamaha Ski-Doo, which we will get into momentarily.
Akira slides into these things, you know.
Speaking of which,
Jeremy at one point says like my words are getting twisted. It's like, dog, you were out till 5 a.m.
Yeah.
No, it's done.
Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Like, my brother in Christ, go home to your smoking hot fiance. Go home.
I want to be mean to Sarah Ann for like the next 3 minutes.
Endorse.
Please do. Yes.
Endorse.
Like.
For one, she was absolutely at the Capitol on January 6th. There, and the fact that Jeremy is like so attracted to that is like China levels of red flags waving in the sky. Because it's also the reason why I say that is the way that she presents herself in this lake house party. She's like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I probably stole your man. Whatever. Why is everyone mad at me? And 80 spins like the camera focuses on her and 80, and 80's like,
oh my,
hey,
80's set as like the fucking ambassador is so funny.
She's
like,
Sarah Ann crying about
like, I know.
Sarah Ann crying about how she doesn't care about what all these people think about her as she sobs that they're all mad at her is fucking just like, oh baby girl, you do care and that's okay. So either don't care or be less shitty. Those are your options. I can't help you right now.
Call yourself what you are. You're a homewrecker. You're gonna have to deal with that. You went ahead, you signed this contract, you went in front of literally 8K high definition cameras, and you showed whoever has a Netflix subscription that you're a homewrecker. Live with that.
And you know, and hey, it's okay that you DM'd Jeremy with a fucking pry bar after he closed the door on you and like jammed it back open and stuck your toe in and was like, no, this door ain't closed. Like, okay, fine. But acknowledge it that was shitty. Like, he closed the door, you reopened it, and then he opened it the rest of the way. You're both wrong, but you're still you're still wrong.
Right.
Acknowledge that you broke into Nancy Pelosi's office and took a selfie.
Yep.
The FBI is on their way.
Just say the other Pelosi thing, and it's like that she broke into their house and hit her husband with a hammer. And
She
like,
sends.
I don't know if you do that.
She sends.
That's the other guy.
Oh my God.
I want to Okay, yeah, we've been hiding, talking about a lot. Very briefly, Trevor saying, I have one of those ring bracelets. I actually got one of those. Me and Anna have a pair of those, and they're really cute when you're like a functioning couple of just like, oh, I'm thinking of you, and the bracelet like rings a little bit, and it tells you how many like rings that you're thinking of them. It's cute, but the fact Chelsea kept hers the entire time and Trevor kept his on the entire time is like, oh, okay, we have two home wreckers over here.
Oh my, this is yeah, like, because this is the reveal I've kind of been waiting for. Like,
Chelsea stands in shambles right now.
Yeah, she's
down because
he's so beefy.
One, like, Chelsea's like, I like a really big beefy guy. And then we get to see Trevor as like, you hit him with like a little like, bonk, and he wakes up and he's like, brother, we have to like assault Rome. We're part of Hannibal's army. Like kind of physique, like
that
and she's
that
like,
is a
oh my
centurion
God,
right there.
no.
He is a
Um,
centurion.
I
Chelsea's
stand
immediately
by what
like
I said. I'm like,
awooga, like it's
Yeah.
so funny.
I stand by what I said in episode 1 or 2, where I'm like, nah, he's juicing. Like I showed Josh the proof, but he's absolutely juicing.
Well,
mean,
he
that's-
should go do the Olympics that not the I forget what they're called, but like the the games that allow people to juice and stuff, whatever those are called.
What games are those?
That's a real thing. It's like a Peter Thiel thing, which is again not. Wait, this is not a rabbit hole we have time to go down.
Oh, okay. Damn. Mike was about to take us on a trip.
We're
I
about
promise
to get an
it's-
education today.
I promise it's a real thing.
I like how Chelsea also said, this is the Chelsea hate hour. I'm sorry for everyone invited to it. She said to Jeremy, like, oh, yeah, go see Amy and Johnny. They're the strongest couple
The
here. And
enhanced games. Sorry, continue.
enhanced
That's what they're
games.
called.
The enhanced. Oh, my
The
God.
enhanced games.
Get the F out of here. That would be a Silicon Valley ass. Anyways, Jimmy said to Chelsea, hey, that's kind of rude. I thought we were a good couple. Like, nah, Amy and Johnny is just a better couple. You come on, you know that. And he's just like, oh.
That
Oh.
like
Again, Chelsea stands shambles. Destroyed.
no, okay. But like, let's be honest. All of us know that one couple who is just like fucking locked in, that you're like, man, I wish I could do so and so. Like, you're just like, oh, blah blah blah. Like, everybody knows, and also everybody can see plain as day. Like, those two are locked in. Like, they've never once like even like remotely sniffed at each other wrong in public, while as we've seen all of these couples fight. And for Jimmy, the fucking rizzless motherfucker that he is, to get so fucking fussy about, like, okay, I you know what? I retract my statement. He is a shambly man because he's so fucking insecure. Fuck
Shambly
him.
man.
He has no rizz. His life is in shambles. He is a garbage dumpster of a human. Like, to get so fucking pissy and then act like you're not pissy, but to still be pissy.
Yeah,
When
the way that
the
they just
two
can't
cutest
help.
people in the fucking world are like maybe marginally better than you as a couple. Like, buddy, oops, get over it.
I'm not a fan of the whole like Amy Johnny thing, because once again, I'm not being fooled by the edit. We're not seeing the problems that they have because they don't want you to see it. There's a story being told here.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you,
No.
if there was a problem there, if there was a fight there, they would put it in because they want the will.
Nope.
They want you to get to the altar and be like, I don't know what they're going to
Right.
say.
No.
The best television is the one where you are curious if they're going to make it or not.
I will say Amy and Johnny probably had the best dish sessions after all these parties, because like everybody else is just like a nightmare and they're kind of normal. So I bet
Yeah.
that they have like the second they get in the car, they're like, oh my God.
Can you
I think
believe?
chronologically, just to keep moving here, the next thing that happens is Mackenzie and Jess arrive at the party.
Mhm.
Again, Jess Hive rise up here. Just, they have
I'm still anti-Jess.
she sits down with Jimmy. She's like, how are things going with Chelsea? And he's like, we fight all the time, but it's
True.
going great. It's like,
So you
Huh?
just got offended about your
Chelsea
partner
layoff
being like,
things
"Hey, they're the best
again.
couple here," and now you're telling your ex, "God, we fight all the fucking time." Like, maybe square that circle there a little bit, buddy. Maybe.
I think Jess does give Jimmy some good advice. Where if like if Chelsea's asking for validation, it's like it's kind of late.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good. Jimmy being like, "You're still my number one." She's like, "Okay, I don't know what to do
well-
with this information."
Yeah, I love that he's like in the obviously I'm attracted to her. Like, okay, buddy. Yeah.
Josh, I need you to hear this. I need you to hear this. when Jessica asked, "So did I take your breath away?" Jim was like, "Yeah, you're very attractive." And Jess said to the cameras, "I have to admit, Jimmy took my breath away." I need you to hear that out loud.
I refuse.
Unbelievable.
You want to? Okay, that's the only time where I'm like, you know what, this show might be scripted. Like, there's no way.
Josh over here, just like in the Family Guy dead pose, just oh.
Yep, 100%. Just put me on. Fucking call it. Time of death, 9:26 p.m. It just fucking. Oh my god! Like my.
It was her delivery of it that made me take notice of that line. Just like, oh, just. Did you see Jimmy? Like the way she's like talking to the camera, and I'm like, I have to note this. I know Josh watched this. I want to hear what Josh watched to him.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I saw it, and I was mad. I saw it the first time, and I was mad, and I saw it again, and I was even more mad because the more I watch the show and talk about it and think about it, the more I'm like, Jimmy ain't got no rizz. What the fuck are we doing here? Like,
Josh is just constantly being told, like, no, please, he has no rizz. He has no
shrink
rizz.
into a corn cob, and then
there is. He has my dude has a negative aura. Like, what are we doing here?
Apparently, you're wrong. I'm gonna have to ask.
Something something diabolical is happening in Carolina, and if that is what constitutes as plus 1,000 aura, I just.
Jimmy today is probably like, oh, the red rifle. Okay, all right, got a good arm.
It's
Ooh,
probably
cracks
not
open
even,
his fifth high noon.
1,000. He's like, even accounting for the show's
That's
edit,
your life.
he's literally like the most normal guy on here. He just does this thing.
Yeah, he's the median American, for better or worse, you know.
This is why it's so confusing to me that Josh hates him so much, because he's like, at least by everything that we've learned about, he's just a guy.
Again,
he's a dude.
That's I don't hate him,
exactly.
but like that's the problem. He's just a guy, and these
some people
women
just want a guy. Some women are attracted to just a guy.
Jimmy's just grill pilled, okay, and we just have to accept that. He just wants to grill and crack open high noons and watch the Panthers lose.
That's honestly, you're probably not even wrong. He probably just likes going to the bar with his friends. He's had for the same 10 years. He slept with one of those friends, big whoop, and he does his job. He works from home. Sometimes he goes to the office, and he's like, yeah,
sizable whoop. Yeah. I have a couple other notes on other quotes here. Yeah, the Jimmy and Chelsea ranking thing, like sometimes jokes are not jokes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just like they can't let anything go. They can't even when they're fighting when it's not a fight. AD Sarah, pardon me. AD, should you send DMs to engage people? Sarah being like, respectfully, yes. Which is just like very funny, just to completely just be like, it's fine. Just like, I'm just gonna truck through any criticism of this.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I cannot for 1 second stop and acknowledge that I might have done anything wrong. Real quick too, before we, I thought this was interesting too. Before the Jess and Jimmy conversation, Johnny and Jimmy were talking to Jeremy, and Jeremy was kind of bitching about something, and they walked away, and Johnny and Jimmy were both like, yeah, I'm not talking to him anymore. Like, right. I'm not getting involved in it. They're just like, fuck him, we're done. Like, man, there are no two more toxic people than Jeremy and Sarah Ann.
Two, Jeremy has to be as polite as possible, the emotional maturity of a 19-year-old who just got his first boner. And Sarah Ann not Sarah Ann, my apology. Laura has blinders on because most people could have seen that coming a mile away. But that requires, granted, on this type of show, that requires you to sit down and go on an actual date with the guy. And then Sarah Ann is, as I've said many times before she's MAGA pilled and identifies herself as a capital P patriot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
She in this conversation with AD, I wrote this down. She's like, she says, the door was open. I'm not a pick me girl, and I'm like, my sister in Christ.
Most common pick me girl saying. I don't know what a pick me girl is, but if I was that, I would say that a lot too. I bet.
The girls who try and like go overboard and just go like, pick me, pick me, pick me. I'm your wife. Haha, pick me. I'm your partner now. Like, Sarah Ann.
I'm the Pick Me podcast host. Exactly. Sound off in the comments.
Like, comment, subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. Ding.
We finally arrived at the scene where, so Jeremy's getting blown off by every other guy because that's the correct action to take. Yes. And Sarah Ann has been told off by AD of all people. No, shout out to my sister who's just trying to make it, but no.
Oh no.
And so what did they decide to do? They're like, you know what? F them. Let's go ride jet skis.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've been dying waiting for us to get to this scene just because it's so evil and just like, you're just like, boo. It's
boo hiss.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. Every bleeding second of it. I love the edit. I love the fact that the producers of the show had the forethought to put GoPros on the jet skis beforehand because they're like, someone's going to get on these stupid ass jet skis and ride around. And look, it's the most two disastrous people currently on this program. They're just like,
and just like the music is so like.
I did take a note of that.
Evil, Love is Blind music.
Again,
so
it is
music.
It is peak smooth brain. Like, we are just gonna go for enjoy. Like, we do not care about any of the damage that we are doing to other people or how we are perceived because we are shit humans. We're like, we are going to be together and we are going to go have fun on this jet ski right now.
So good. I mean, one other shot I really loved here, I think just before the jet skis, is Laura saying he's a 13-year-old, and the camera cuts to Jeremy like fucking around with like the Nerf football, and it like hits the side of the house or something. It's just like, it's so funny. It's like, I can't believe they got that footage.
One, it is so very clear that like, he says in that conversation with Sarah Ann, like, I made the wrong choice in the pods, blah blah blah, and it's like, no, you made the right choice at the time. You got out and you are with somebody who like challenges you and calls you on your bullshit and doesn't let you get it. Now, yes, she has some annoying like. Yes, her thing with like your Hawaiian shirts and whatnot, like, I get it, that's slightly annoying, but like also
no, she's right. Continue.
Yeah, she just won't let you just be a garbage dumb person, and you're like
the cleanest of all of them.
Actually, I think I'm gonna be with the not like detritus, but like I'm just a shitty human being. Like
okay,
I
never mind.
And he was like, nah, I'm gonna go be with the fun chick. Like that's just what I'm gonna do.
I'm sorry, but that's literally this human being's personality. I'm not even sure if it's acted. I think that's just who he is. He's a giant goofball that really has a devil-may-care attitude, and inside his personal life, he lives extremely fastidiously. So, yeah, he's. I think he's going to not match up ideologically, but maybe he doesn't care what Sarah. I think.
Well, that is an interesting too. Like, if you really get down to like the experiment as it is and like the premise of the show is like, there maybe is a nugget of Jeremy that like at one point was trying to be involved in the experiment and like, I am trying to like be this version of myself, but like the second he got into the real world, it all fell apart. Like there was no continuation of who he was in the because again, these people are spending 8 hours a day for like a week talking to each other and doing nothing but talking. Like they're getting pretty deep. They're having a lot of time together.
You're gonna be like performing in a way that you might not be as much inclined to do as much when you're back in quote the real world.
Yeah, or you
unquote.
just you have the opportunity to sit there and think and reflect and like give a good answer and like talk about yourself and the ideal, but like, and you're not distracted by all the other external factors. And then you get to the, some people have the ability to like carry that on with them and be like, hey, I want to be intentional and do this. And then there are some people who get back and you put their phone in front of them and they hit the eject button at the slightest mention of like, hey, maybe you should like touch me one time.
Talking about Kenneth.
I'm talking about Kenneth.
I don't know how we got back to Kenneth.
Because fuck Kenneth, that's how.
Oh
Okay.
my god, I cannot imagine being on phone as much as he is on. He's on phone so badly.
Maybe he should just get laid. You think about that, Kenneth? Yeah?
They have that on.
Look
They
at
have
that.
that on phone, Kenneth.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you got that on phone, you don't need that
They
on
have that
dick.
on phone.
This
I
is
guess
me
we should
being, like,
just in the
super mean
interest
and
of time,
unfair,
like again,
But yes.
Lake House was just real good. There's also a Jimmy or a Chelsea and Trevor combo that's like Trevor, I think, asks some very good, like mature kind of questions. I think he's a very kind of before. I think I think he takes a very good approach here. But you kind of Chelsea's very pained about like God, you're just like yeah, but what else did we have? We had
We
a
have
kind
the
of the
ending of
ramp
the
up to like
episode.
Yeah,
The
so
ending
this
of this episode is they're at an amusement park. Specifically, you were just talking. Jimmy and Chelsea go to what's clearly a rented out amusement park. 'Cause
Yeah,
no one else
yes.
is there.
yeah,
very
they
good.
they rent out Carowinds for a day, an evening for them to go and just like be there by themselves, which fucking what a great date. How amazing would that be?
That'd be
I
so
guess it
sick.
depends on the park, but it sounds fun. Sounds fun.
Oh man,
mean,
Busch
Carol-
Gardens. Oh,
It's Carowinds in North Carolina. They have King DeKalb. They have some pretty good roller coasters there. So
Chelsea does not strike me as the person that would enjoy roller coasters. Like nothing about their attitude has given that up to me. Jimmy looks like a guy that's probably ridden a roller coaster or two.
I
looks
think
like
the ice
hand
sculpture montage we get here is like extremely. They're getting like a "we're gonna get married" edit during
Yeah.
this,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
very
because
funny. It's
Chelsea,
like,
they say
what?
at one point
No.
we're in the high.
It's dry.
Hey, we're on the roller coaster. We're at the highest point in our relationship.
This is like the when you
Get it?
when you like fake throw a ball for a dog.
Yeah.
This is what the edit is doing here, and it's like I'm not. No, this
I
is
love
fake.
Chelsea.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Guys,
they try on
I'm
Dresses
and
locked.
tuxes.
I'm locked in. They say that.
Yeah. That's before they get to the amusement park stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there were parts of episode 11 where I kind of blacked out. Pretty much all the parts where they're trying on the wedding stuff, I kind of blacked out because I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, we
I
have
think
we have some nice
Johnny
some
and
nice date
Amy have
moments.
some immaculate, like Johnny and the boys. Like, come on, it's just like
Yep.
I want to be Johnny's friend. He's so cool.
oh my goodness.
Yep.
I
We
think
get
all the ladies have like good, like they're all there for each other. Like everybody looks so gorgeous. It's so nice. Tragically, I have a note here saying Clay AD. I think they've got it figured out. Predicting yes. Now we'll come back to that. Amy and Johnny go glamping.
Mhm.
Jimmy and Chelsea had their park date. But we're really ramping up at this point to there's a little bit of like
12.
bachelorette talk here. I don't know if there's any observations you all had from any of this other stuff too.
No, I mean, that part of that little like period, I think there was, there might have been some of the Johnny, Amy, like, oh, I just actually learned what a vasectomy actually is, and like we probably shouldn't do that and whatnot, and 80 being like,
That's very. So
I'm
funny.
sorry, but these two are fucking. Like, there's no way these two are this tight without fucking.
Amy denies this, but
Yeah, I don't. Maybe she just denies it for dad because he seems very traditional. But
So when I said it earlier, like, no, these guys are getting it on. Just like, come on, they could be doing dumb stuff. Like, no, they're adults. They're having sex.
I don't know. But
I have a
yeah,
note here
there's
that says, "I like how Johnny's dog is chilling on the couch like a mummy." Continue.
I did not notice that.
Yeah,
I
so
noticed it,
I have no
apparently.
other observations except for the pregnant pause that ends episode 11 and brings us to episode 12.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, the
brother. We
one
start
word.
off with firecrackers
Yeah.
here, folks.
I just wrote down, Jimmy, you are great and do everything I need, but like, I'm sorry, but hey, if you're saying you are great and do everything I need, and then you say but, then you're not great and don't do everything I need. Because boy, howdy do we get the bombshell Jimmy saying we are not getting married.
Yeah.
My exact note for this, if I can, real quick.
Mhm.
It reads, Jimmy finally cut her loose. Good.
Yeah, this is one of those, and I think like, I even have a note here. Where does it say? Chelsea obviously not taking it well, but Jimmy's being kind of realistic here. I feel a little bad for dogging Jimmy through like 10 episodes. A little bad, to be clear, just a little. Not a lot, but yeah, I think this is like, look, this is not working.
Yeah.
And it's harder, as we'll see. It's the way this show works is you don't know
Yeah. Can I
until and
something?
yeah.
I called it back in episode 8. I went back to my notes when I said the linchpin that Jimmy says is killed it for me and had killed it for me long ago was when you brought up my friend when I explicitly told you not to. He said that broke my trust, and I knew I can never marry you because I can never trust you anymore. And I was like, there it is. I called it all the way back then. Like, yeah, that's obviously like the trust barrier can never be. You Chelsea was out of line, crossed the line, like she broke the kayfabe. Absolutely destroyed the kayfabe. How can you ever trust getting married to someone like that
But
when you give them that one secret, that
I
one
am
thing?
I
Don't
am
bring this up in front of the goddamn cameras.
I am not a Chelsea apologist by any stretch of the imagination.
Here comes
but
a
but I will say it is a gigantic fucking red flag that one, he talks about revealing our deepest, darkest secret as having had sex with his friend, who he texts and calls every day, and like is on a dating show where his whole life is on blast, and he meets this person with his fiance like on camera, and like that's the one line that he can't cross. Like, I'm sorry, but like, to me, somebody in that situation hasn't closed the door, because it is a red flag to say it's our deepest, darkest secret that we slept together. Sorry, buddy.
No,
one of you ain't over this shit yet, and that's a problem, because you know what? We have friends who we have had a romantic encounter with once or twice. Like, it does happen, and you have to acknowledge it and be like, yeah, we tried this, it didn't really work out, but like, to be like, it's our deepest, darkest secret.
No, it's not the deepest, darkest secrets. He says
he literally says it's our deepest, darkest secret. He literally says that word.
Me and you, don't ever bring it up in front of the cameras. I don't want to put her information on blast like that. That's all he asks.
But he says in that
That's
conversation,
a reasonable request.
No,
and if she can't follow that.
Except when it is relevant to the fight you're having on television, because you are
cut her off. That's why she's cut off. That's why she's cut. She ain't getting married. I will shit on Jimmy for this. Shouldn't have let her pick the dress.
That's hard. I think it's, again, Jimmy loves to backpedal out of a situation when he realizes he's gone too far, when it's becoming something he doesn't like a little too late.
Yes.
As if you reference episode 3 and 4.
Sorry, Jess.
But sorry, Jess.
We love you. We love you. You should have been picked, but you also dodged the bullet.
Yeah.
No.
But
Jimmy dodged several bullets.
He unlike somebody else, he has the grace to do this, to just to cut this off before just the actual ceremony. And I'm not sure exactly about the technicals of the show and specifically like what like making it to the altar or not, like
So
what that means or how
this
that.
is the fewest couples we've had make it to the altar.
Yes, that is
It
true.
it is. We only have 2 couples that we are going to the altar with. Typically speaking, like you might have one that doesn't make it. Like there was one that didn't survive the honeymoons last season, and they even tried to get back together afterwards, and it still didn't work.
That
but like,
rocks. That's
yes,
so funny.
but typically, like a majority of the couples make it to the altar, and we get to see them, say yes or no at the altar.
Really? That's a common thing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most of the couples get to the altar.
That's so stupid.
That's the whole
That's
point
so-
of the fucking show.
No, that's so fucking stupid. Fuck that. That's dumb.
That's just how it works sometimes.
Yeah.
But
I will say, my one thing is like, dude, if you've known for like 2 weeks, you shouldn't have let her pick a dress. Come on, that's too much emotional damage. And maybe he was trying to be like Doctor Doom, and he wanted to make it hurt as much as possible.
Reed Richards.
Reed Richards, I will see you suffer.
I will take you to
in
the
ways
altar and say no.
unimaginable.
I tell you what Jimmy did. Jimmy went to the last possible second.
No.
No, listen. He gave Chelsea every opportunity to end it. He wanted her to call it, so he looked like the good guy. And then he realized, oh no, the next time I can back out is at the wedding, and I will be the ultimate villain then. I will suck now, but I will suck less than if I leave her
Right.
at the altar. So he wanted her to break up with him so bad, and she didn't. And he did a calculation. He made a business decision, and it's like, all right, I have to do it in Carowinds, because otherwise it's at the altar, and I can't survive that.
To be fair, in episode 8, he tried to break it off with her, and she, and I quote, went back to him and said, "Don't leave me." He has tried to leave her on 2 different occasions, according to my notes.
If you try and leave somebody and then they say don't leave, and then you don't leave, then you weren't really trying to leave.
I guess, but I guess at this point, it's like, you know what? No, nah. It's super done. And you know what? Good.
This
Jimmy,
is for the
Jimmy having no rizz, he does in my book, he does not get any benefit of the doubt, because my dude has just been grasping L's firmly this entire series. That
I don't know who grasped the bigger L here.
he keeps grasping defeat from the jaws of victory, and I have no sympathy for him at all.
This is one of those things where just like this is not something I am in. Like I guess as far as like the institution of the idea of like people being married to each other, this is one of those things where it's like, hey, maybe this is for the best to not do this because.
Yeah.
We just really, truly never could get over completely like the way. Pardon me. It just never was just not ever there.
Yeah, and also like Jimmy correctly says, I have a note of this, like, hey Chelsea, you have a very big weird issue with me talking to one of my friends that I had a relationship with years ago. You still talk to your ex-husband regularly every night. Why am I not allowed to have an issue with that? I don't, and he brings up, you don't have the emotional maturity to just deal with the fact that I have friends. And he's effing right. He's absolutely super right. Cut her off.
Yeah,
Cut her off. Get her out of here.
For the best. This is yeah. But
again,
He should have done it earlier. He should have done it way earlier.
Yeah.
He should have went to the lake house with Jess and said, Jess, what you doing tonight? Because apparently I have some time. And then and to make it right, and then he starts spinning some rhymes to her, and then he pops out his Walkman because Jimmy is a G like that, and it just was Return of the Mac. What's my name? Return.
If he does that, Jess has permission to eat him like a praying mantis, just bite his head off, and she's legally permitted to do that.
Well, Jess was attracted to him, so who knows where that went.
The ultimate Jimmy has Riz checkmate.
I hate it.
Arguably the baddest baddie on the show.
I
Just-
will never
yeah.
understand. If there are any Jimmy stands, tell me in the comments
Sound
what
off.
I miss. Yeah, mailbag at unscriptedgaming.com. Just like let me know what I'm missing here because
I've been telling you the whole time. He's just a guy. Some women are attracted to just a guy, and it's
He's
cool.
just guy.
Just a guy in South Carolina.
So-
that's fine.
We should get to the weddings.
Yep, we're gonna crash into this.
Bachelorette. We have bachelorette bachelor party. Not a ton here. These are cute. Clay has some good outfits as usual. He just has a really. I want his wardrobe. Just got some good stuff in there.
yes.
I think
So-
the first up is Clay and AD, and I think the interaction that unlocks it explains everything that has happened and everything that is about to happen so perfectly is when Clay is talking to his dad. And when you meet the dad and dad's talking about like, yeah, I would have been a track star, but I had my hammy.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I do my hamstrings. Yeah, it was my hammy that was holding me back. And just you get the sense that like this is where he gets all of the stuff that is going on with Clay, where he's like, that like cheating on your wife is the same as like hitting a pothole in your car.
Yep.
He
Well,
gets
like-
it from him, and you see it all immediately. It's just them in
We-
that room right there.
And we get a little more of this in 15 minutes in the show, but like we hear Clay talking about how suave and smooth his dad is and whatnot, and like you hear his dad talking in a lot of metaphors, and like he's moving around and he's got a smooth way of talking, he's got a really pleasant cadence, but he's not really saying anything of substance. He's just taking like one phrase after the other and like going on. But you can see Clay like hanging on every, like you can see him hanging on every word. And we learn that like, oh, Clay used to drive in the car with him to go cheat on his mom. Like he used to be there with him when he was actively doing this.
That's kind of crazy.
It is unbelievable. Like, and yeah, like
We are a critical mass of people that need therapy.
we learned so much about Clay from his dad, because even his dad is like, I didn't have any good role models, and I did my best to try and not pass that on to you, which we'll get to that in a
Feels like a lot of like I'm saying this now because
yeah.
it's like okay.
Yep.
So the wedding happens, and here comes AD walking down the aisle.
Looks
Got a
great.
whole-
looking
beautiful,
great, looking
gorgeous.
phenomenal.
My
Then here
tummy.
comes Clay.
Oh my god.
And then the reverend pastor, the officiator of the wedding, he acknowledges the show, I'm sure contractually obligated, and acknowledges the kind of weird circumstance that they find themselves in. And I want to paint the scene for you guys. I'm like playing Astrobot on my PS5, and I'm watching Love is Blind on my second monitor. I got two 32-inch screens right here. So my one eye is looking at Astrobot, the other eye is looking at Love is Blind. And so when AD says, yes, I'll marry you, I'm just going through the level in Astrobot. Great game, by the way. And then Clay's turn to come up, and Clay says, why does timeline matter? I was like, I paused my game and I went,
You're like,
all right.
this MF.
what's going on
cannot
here?
be serious."
I turned over to my other monitor and said, what are we doing here?
Ray sat forward in his chair and he locked in.
Did the sit up thing.
And AD runs away. Clay walks over, hand in pocket, dabs up his boys, like, hey, how you doing? They're like, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Dabs up his dad. He's just taking it. He's cool with it. AD is over there destroyed because probably millions of people watched her get
Have like the worst moment of her life.
probably her nightmare come true.
Yeah.
We're like, and I'm reading my past notes of the signs, all of the signs that I've been saying since episode 1. Clay is a fuckboy. I don't like Clay. There's nothing about him. I don't trust this man. He is going to cheat on you. He literally said, I can't help it. I'm going to cheat.
I do love in this moment too when we were like, in the transition before Clay goes to find AD, we have Clay's mom like trying to validate him but also yelling him at the same time, just like, I support you, son. You left a good one go, but like, what you want to do? I hope your dad didn't fucking have anything to do with it. You just like, she is clearly like very pissed off at him.
I am on your side, but like, how could you?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Did you see her? Did you like? What are you doing? Oh my god.
I want to quote this thing from that Clay said back in episode 7. Something that made me actually want to like turn the series off, and like I was this close to typing out to you guys, I cannot do this show. I am actually like super fucking pissed right now. And it was when Clay said, I've never seen a black relationship be faithful. I was like, nah, that's it. I'm punching.
That's oh my god, that's so
Like, no, I can see where this is going. This is too obvious. This is awful. He's an awful human being. I'm tired of looking at him. And look, it all came around. The cycle of fuckboy claim came to apotheosis. He entered third impact. All right, that's a joke for only a couple people.
We are gooifying now. Yeah. So we get Clay finding AD sobbing in her dressing room, and the note I have here, he says, AD, I'm not rejecting you. I'm like, bruh, I'm sorry, but I don't know if you know this, but you just fucking rejected her. Like, he
like, just give her a minute. God damn, dude.
When I think like he
unbelievable.
Yeah, he definitely over analyzes what he needs to do to quote unquote get ready for marriage, and he also under appreciates it's like, I was going to make a commitment to you right here that we could continue to work through, and I said no for now. Like, I'm sorry, but like that's still a rejection. Like, no for now is still no. Like,
there's like and there's another thing I want to get to, but like Clay just misunderstands that, like, he just like doesn't, he's like, he's been trapped in his own mind with this, and like it's like, this is a conclusion that you only reach like if you're not if you're not talking to or not listening to the person you are about to commit to this relationship with, because like I just like the inability to like conceive the pain that this will cause and not know that she's not going to be like, I'm upset, but I understand, and I still am going to be in a relationship with you. To not see that, to be like kind of caught off guard that this is like a deal breaker for AD is like so insane to me. It's like,
well, and
he just has no emotional
he cannot perceive. Like, I appreciate him saying like, I'm gonna get therapy, I'm gonna work on myself. Like, I understand what he's saying, but like he is not mature enough to see how different it is to say, I am committing to you, and I'm gonna work on myself and for us together, rather than, I can't trust myself to be with you, I'm going to work on myself to get myself to that point. It's like, again, it is that not taking responsibility for your own actions and saying like, I am going to do this to you, I'm going to try not to, and until such time as I think that I can not cheat on you, I'm just going to like not fully commit right now.
Yeah, it's so insane. I think like one other piece I really liked here is the conversation between Clay's mom and dad. And I think as much as we have talked about how a lot of this show is production, right? Or like the edit, I think this scene
this
that
was
we
a
get between the parents is like some of the best stuff that I think that like this genre, I guess, of game show television like can produce
Sure.
as far as like interesting human dynamics and conversation between people, because like like the mom is like Clay's mom is like, hey, you like we need to support our son, we need to be there for him, but like you need to unpack like what you have imparted onto our son.
Yep.
And that's like a heavy idea, right? It's not like it's not just like, hey, you're a jerk. It's like the grace with which she is framing it as like this is something we need to come to terms with and like grow out of.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like a very like real thing to like it just like see, right? Again,
And
like the last episode we were like having, supervillain jet ski
yeah.
scene. It was awesome, but then we also have this moment in the next one. So I think it's like
And it's
really interesting to see like all the different like
and she acknowledges
stuff
like
happen.
she's like, "Hey, I learned some shit. Like I forgave you and we came to terms and we've been great co-parents and like we've done this thing well. I learned some new stuff that is pretty fucking gut-wrenching and I'm not going to unpack that right now like cuz we've already put it away, so like it's fine, but like you have to own up to what you've done to him and you need to undo, like you have to acknowledge that. And like I do love it too when he tries to pull the like, I didn't have any positive role models, and she's like, yeah, that's not really an excuse, buddy, because you were also not a good role model. And he says something of like, I just wanted him to meet a nice girl and be good to her, and she was like, you met me and you weren't good to me. Like at no point does she ever let him off the hook, and she just keeps like, hey, you were that bad role model that put him in this position, and you have not owned up or acknowledged how that has impacted him to this day. Yeah, like you poured into him so much to be your prodigy and to be what you weren't, and it has fucked him up in ways that you have not acknowledged, and you need to make it right with our son. Like it's so unbelievably powerful.
It's good. I like the parent stuff typically.
Yeah, just like again, like
Doesn't do much for AD.
I mean, that's the tragic thing. Is like it's a little too late, but like the second best time is now.
Yeah.
On some of this stuff.
There's no time like the present.
Right. But after the trials and tribulations and absolute hell we have been through, we finally just get to bask in the glory of the Amy Johnny wedding.
It was beautiful.
I actually, and don't hate me for this, or do, it's fine. I put the Netflix up to ×2 speed because I'm like, yeah, okay.
So I'll let you on a little secret. So my wife and I, because we've been watching Love Is Blind for a long time, like typically the wedding episodes are mostly recaps.
There's a lot of
So like typically what we'll do is we'll do the 10-second skip on Netflix until we get to like a conversation like we have with Clay's dad where we're interested, and then we'll listen to that, and then we'll keep going, and we skip through the vows, and we get to like right to the part where there might be a but, or then they say I do, and then we watch it. So like I didn't do that either for this time. So like I didn't watch most of the prep for this wedding, but I also was pretty goddamn confident in what the outcome was going to be. So
yeah, I just like, yeah, okay, go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, I thought it was really sweet. I liked it a lot. I love Johnny's siblings because they're just all Johnnies.
Yes, it's just
so
a group
good.
of other little Johnnies of different
There's
shapes
just other
and sizes.
Johnnies. Those are Johnny's parents. You're like, yep, that's Johnny's.
It all checks out.
Amy's friend is right. Descriptions are cheating.
100%.
It's like, come on, you can't do that. Hey, wait. And this is not, again, this whole thing, ceremony is so sweet and like fun and nice. I really liked it. This is not relevant to anything. I think the viewers the viewers of like Netflix should have like a poll at the beginning of like at the end of like the episode before the weddings. The viewers should get to forcibly marry one couple. Like we should have there should be like a fan vote, and the couple the couple that wins that vote like gets married, and there's nothing they can do to prevent it.
100%. I like that idea.
Like they are married. Like that's it.
I'm gonna tweet at Nick Lachey right now.
Oh
It's like the extreme version of Love Is Blind. Is like I don't know what you'd call it, but like
forced love
I'm
is
into it.
blind.
like just imagine the fan vote marrying Jimmy and Chelsea, and then they have to like then we get the sequel show of them dealing with the ramifications of, accidentally getting the fan vote to force them to be married.
Can you combine people that probably like absolutely shouldn't be together? So you could.
I love that
Jimmy
idea.
and Jessica to get
I love
married.
that a lot. Ooh.
And thus Josh implodes.
I think there needs to be some sort of like.
Jess dodged a bullet. I stand by that.
I think there needs to be some sort of like lingering threat from the fans. Is the best way I can describe it, to keep to preserve order, so to speak.
100.
That's my proposal. Discuss.
Love
Sound
it.
off in the comments.
Let us know. But that wraps up Love Is Blind season 6 proper. The only thing we have left is the reunion episode 1 year later. Where are our couples? How are they doing? And what is next for them? And you know where you can find that?
Where?
At unscriptedgaming.com. You can find links to all of our shows, podcasts, and everything. You can follow us on the socials, on the Facebook at Unscript Game Podcast. You can follow us on x.com at unscript_gaming. You can follow us on soundcloud.com/unscripted-gaming. There you can find all of our audio versions of the podcast. We are on all the major podcatchers. You can get the video versions of this on YouTube. Just look up Unscripted Gaming 2.0. Thank you for listening to Unscripted Gaming presents Postscripted. Love is Unscripted. A Love is Blind rewatch podcast. My name is Josh.
My name is Mike.
My name is Ray.
Peace.